I want you to close your eyes. Imagine there's a paper bag over your head, okay? It's hard to breathe in there. The only thing you can smell is your own putrid breath. All you can hear is a man speaking Spanish. You don't know this, but he has a gun to your head. And what he's demanding from you is to pick every single winner on UFC 311. If you get it right, you hear a click. You're still alive. If you get it wrong, that's the end. These are gun to your head. Who do you think's going to win in every single fight from the early prelim opener to the main event on UFC 311? It's official pick time. What a beautiful landscape I just laid out for you. All right? Just remember, when we're going through these, picks and bets are very different. I want to go over one thing from last week. My official pick was Austin Bashi. My official bet was Christian Rodriguez. Why? Because I thought, gun to my head, I think Austin Bashi might be the real deal. All right? So I picked him. I thought his cardio would hold up. It did. I thought he might be a little bit too inexperienced. Maybe he just wouldn't do enough to win a couple of the rounds. And considering the betting line on Christian Rodriguez at plus 230, he's had this type of opponent before. I had to pull the trigger. It wasn't a big bet, but it was a bet that I felt I had to place. And what happened? My official pick was wrong. I would have been dead, but I made some money. All right, there's the big difference for you. I just laid it out. Picks and bets are very different. Just because I pick a guy in this video does not mean you should bet on him, and it doesn't mean that I'm going to bet on him, okay? Just to clear that up. If you want my bets, you know where to get them. It's in the Homo Fight Picks Winnable. There's a free trial every single week, so if you haven't been in it, you give it a free trial. If you're already in it, then you know that we've been profitable the last 2 years, and we were profitable last week. I expect us to be profitable this week. There will also be the Best Bets show later in the week, and there will be a live stream. I'm talking to Matty Betts. We might get a little live stream going on for UFC 311. Call-in show, so you can call in and talk to us. It should be a great time. If he's not able to do it, then I'll do it on my own, but we're working on that right now. Without any further ado, you already know what we got to do. We got to scroll all the way down to the early prelim opener of Tagir Ulanbekov and Clayton Carpenter. I'm going Tagir Ulanbekov. Why? Very similar to what I just talked about with Austin Bashi, Christian Rodriguez. I think Clayton Carpenter is a really solid fighter, but I don't think he's as experienced in the cage to get this one done. Is it possible he could? Absolutely. I think the skills could be there, but I don't know that he's going to finish Tagir. I don't know that he's going to win 2 out of the 3 rounds. Now, the odds are very much flipped from the Austin Bashi, Christian Rodriguez example that I gave you at the beginning of the video. So I feel pretty good about Ulanbekov to get this one done. But considering the odds, I think Clayton Carpenter is pretty good. I'm not a big minus 300 on Tagir Ulanbekov. I'm not big on that. But I will take him for an official pick. I think his striking will be enough. I think his or at least his counter grappling should be enough to deal with Clayton Carpenter. And if there's any finishing in this fight, I would expect it to come from Tagir with some type of submission. So I will take Tagir. He's a ranked guy. He's a Dagestani. He's a Khabib guy. I think he gets this one done. Give me Tagir Ulanbekov for the official pick. And we can move on to Ricky Turcios, Bernardo Sopaj. Now, if there's one guy that I don't want my life to be in the hands of, it's probably Ricky Turcios. But do I want my life to be in the hands of a guy that just got brutally knocked out in his last fight? By golly, I think I'm going to have to take him. I'm going to have to take Bernardo Sopaj in this one because Ricky Turcios can't stuff a takedown. He has great scrambles, but he also does not have great striking. So even if he's able to get into the scrambles, get back up to the feet, his striking ain't even that great. So it's not like he could stuff takedown, scramble out of it, and then be the better striker. So I think Bernardo has this one. I think he'll get takedowns. He'll get better positions. He'll probably do more damage throughout the fight as well. Turcios will probably just try to out-volume him with these little rabbit punches. I don't think it's going to work. So give me Bernardo Sopaj for the official pick. Moving on. Rinya Nakamura taking on Muin Gafurov. Now, I like Muin Gafurov. training at Syndicate MMA. I like that. All right. I believe in that gym. I think that gym is pretty solid. He's a big underdog here, and he's going to have to stuff takedowns. If he can stuff takedowns, then he might be live. Because I know Rinya's got some power, but that's on a very, very low level that we've seen it at. And I don't think his striking is that great. But on the other hand, Rinya's been training at ATT with Alexandre Pantoja. All right. And if Rinya Nakamura, a great wrestler that he is, 90% takedown accuracy, if he's getting takedowns like that and he's training with Pantoja, I got to expect the dude's jiu-jitsu to look a little bit better than it has his last two fights. So I think Rinya will be able to get takedowns on Gafurov. And I think he'll be able to win the rounds and probably not find a finish. I don't think he's that great of a finisher on the ground. But if his jiu-jitsu has improved by training with Pantoja, maybe we could see it. I don't really see it happening. I think Rinya Nakamura will probably win a decision. But he will be my official pick nonetheless. And we can move on to some women's MMA. Brazilian lesbian versus Argentinian Miami OnlyFans model. Normally, I would go with the Brazilian lesbian. And I probably should. So this is not a confident gun to your head type of pick. But I'm going to go with Eileen Perez. Because if there's a gun to my head, I want the girl that I think has a little bit more tenacity. I think she's going to be able to get this fight to the ground. I don't know how often she'll be able to get this fight to the ground. Carol Rosa is undoubtedly the better striker. But Eileen Perez has only been living in the U.S. for a year or two. I think she's improved every single time that she's been in the octagon. Her level of competition has improved. I don't know. Maybe I'm going a little bit far on that. Women's bantamweight is not a deep division. But I think Eileen Perez can get takedowns here. Last time Carol Rosa fought a wrestler was Sarah McMahon, like a 50-year-old Sarah McMahon, and she got ragdolled in that fight. I was there in attendance. I about fell asleep. So if Eileen Perez can get those takedowns, I think she wins the fight. I'll take her. Eileen Perez is the official pick. Women's MMA, though, boys. Might just want to lay off. Zachary Reese taking on Azamat Bekoev. Bekoev coming in on short notice. I know this guy because I watched a few of his fights because he fought Dylan Budka. He fought this dude that was on the Contender Series. I recognize the name. I know he trains at ATT. I know the guy. I looked a little bit too deep into this guy, but small town in Russia. Comes over to the U.S. for the last 3 years. I don't know that he's anything that great, but I think he might just be good enough to beat Zachary Reese. Because Zachary Reese, he's gonna be dangerous for the first 7.5 minutes, but after that, I think Bekoev can get takedowns at will. I think Bekoev is a decent wrestler. There are times where he just chooses not to wrestle, and he'll try to stand and bang. And against that lower level competition on the regional scene, it can work. But if he tries to stand and bang with Reese, probably get knocked out. But at the same time, Zachary Reese, I don't think is the most durable. So he could probably knock out Zachary Reese. I'm really banking on the wrestling here. If he can get the wrestling going with Zachary Reese, I don't think Reese has good takedown defense. He's a guy that likes to play jiu-jitsu off his back. If it doesn't work out, then he's going to be losing rounds. So I'm going to go with Azamat Bekoev for the official pick. But, I think this guy's a little bit of a wild card. I think there's probably a little bit too much respect given to him at this point just because he's an EV from Russia. I don't think he's all that great. But I do think he has a wrestling edge in this one, and he should be able to beat Zachary Reese. So I'll take Bekoev for the official pick. Moving on. Grant Dawson taking on Diego Ferreira. There's a gun to my head. Do I want Grant Dawson to be striking with Diego Ferreira? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If Grant Dawson can't get this fight to the ground, he's screwed. Because Diego can hit hard. He's got pretty solid cardio. He's got pretty solid scrambles. So Grant Dawson is not only going to have to get this guy to the ground, he's going to have to control him on the ground for extended periods of time to where Diego might have to just give up like he did against Gregor Gillespie, like he did against Mateusz Gamrot. And that's a possibility Because Grant Dawson has some of the best grappling wrestling in the lightweight division. Don't at me. He's just not that complete fighter on the feet. So I think he will have a wrestling edge in this one. I do think he will be able to get positions on Diego. I know Diego's a great scrambler, very hard to hold down, but I think Grant has the abilities to do so, and he has a game plan to do so when he's in the cage. He has a great game plan of where can I exploit this guy? Where can I exploit this guy? Well, Diego likes to give up his back to get back up to his feet. He likes to work away, kind of push away, give up his back. I think that's when Grant Dawson locks in that body triangle and goes to work. So I will take Grant Dawson for the official pick to get this one done. Diego is also 40 years old. So do I want a gun to my head taking a 40-year-old? Probably not. So Grant Dawson. But moving on. Bogdan Guskov, Billy Elekana. Billy Elekana, not all that. He's not the favorite of this one. UFC odds always sucks. Billy Elekana, not all that, but he might be decent enough to where Bogdan is like having troubles doing stuff. I say that because Billy holds his range pretty well, doesn't overextend himself. He's not a great offensive wrestler, but it's decent. Jesus, I'm burping everywhere. It's decent. It's decent, and his defensive wrestling is decent. He's just decent everywhere. And he's not going to take a ton of risks. So if Bogdan's going in there throwing hammers like he likes to do, then he might overextend himself. Then Billy might make him look a little stupid early. But I think Bogdan has shown a little bit more composure in his last two fights, compared to his UFC debut, which was actually against a really solid guy in Uzdemir, in my opinion. He's shown a little bit more composure, a little bit more ability to work his way towards the knockout instead of just throwing big hammers like he was on the regional scene. So I think he will be able to win these striking exchanges with his more impactful shots with his fists and maybe find a knockout. But I expect Billy to be pretty durable in there, just considering his heritage, if you know what I mean. Bogdan Guskov is the official pick, and we can move on. Jailton Almeida taking on Sergey Spivac. Sergey, big problem here is his base is wrestling. And the problem is he's going up against a better wrestler grappler. So that's why he's a big dog here. And he doesn't really have a ton of striking to exploit Jailton when he's on the feet. So I think Jailton will be able to get him down to the ground. Spivac will probably give up his back on the way to trying to get back up to his feet. Jailton will probably take the back and do his work from there, whether he finds a rear naked choke, throws down some ground and pound, softens him up, finds a rear naked choke after that, but he's probably going to find a rear naked choke. Sergey's a decent grappler, but I just think Jailton is a lot more explosive of an athlete. He can take down anybody, and his jiu-jitsu is better than any heavyweight that I've ever seen. Okay, you don't see guys climb the back like Jailton Almeida and get guys out of there. Just doesn't happen in heavyweight. The guy really should be a light heavyweight, but I think he's just like, fuck it. Like, these guys at heavyweight can't grapple, so might as well be a heavyweight, put on an extra 15, 20 pounds, and go at it. And it's kind of worked out. So Jailton Almeida will be the official pick. Moving on. Peyton Talbott, Ione Barcelos. If Barcelos can get some wrestling going in this one, then he has a decent chance. But how decent is it? He's plus 700 for a reason, all right? I don't think Barcelos is going to be able to take a ton of shots from Peyton Talbott. I think Barcelos will probably try to wrestle. And Peyton Talbott can get taken down, but he usually works his way back to the feet. And even if he is held down for a round, next fight starts on the feet. And Peyton Talbott is a big dude for 135 who throws a lot of strikes, and he throws them hard. And Barcelos is nearing 40 years of age. I think he's 37, and he's only been knocked out once in the UFC, which was Umar, who's probably going to be the champ. We'll talk about that later. But I think Peyton Talbott could probably crack him and put him out. Barcelos is good, though. He's a good veteran. It's a good test for Peyton Talbott, but I think he passes it here. So give me Peyton Talbott for the official pick. Shocker there. Moving on to the main card. Kevin Holland taking on Reinier de Ridder. I was on Rainier for the early pick. I actually have a bet out on Rainier de Ridder as an underdog, and I honestly don't feel amazing about it, but I do feel like it's the right play, just considering Kevin Holland is not a middleweight, has not had great success with wrestlers, grapplers in middleweight, and I just don't think this guy gives a fuck. I just don't think he does. The guy just wants to fight every 2-3 months, get his paychecks, and keep it moving. Because I'm sure he gets paid a ton of money now. A ton of money. So he's like, yeah, I'll fight 5 times. I'm not, my pay isn't going to go down. Like, they're not going to go down. Ever since he took that Hamzat fight, he's probably getting paid crazy money. So his pay probably not going down. It's either staying the same or it's going up. I would probably say it's staying the same, but it's probably a good amount. And he's going to fight 4 or 5 times a year, collect his paychecks. Doesn't matter if he wins or loses because he puts on fun fights. He could easily go out there and knock out Rainier de Ridder in round 1. Easily. And that's probably what he thinks. He's probably going to think I'm going to go out there and knock him out in round 1, and I'll collect my paycheck, maybe another bonus. But Rainier just needs one takedown. He just needs one takedown early. Not to mean that he's going to submit him with one takedown, but he just needs one takedown to get some confidence, wear on Kevin a little bit. Kevin's not bad on the ground with his jiu-jitsu, but Rainier's just going to be a lot more physical. He's going to have a lot better positions on the ground. And Kevin can flow, but if Rainier can control him down on the ground, it's not going to look good. So give me Rainier de Ridder for the official pick. I do have a bet on him. It's not a big one, but more so than not, I probably like the under on that one just because I think Rainier could get KO'd or he could finish Kevin Holland. So Rainier is the pick, though. Gun to your head, I'm taking Rainier de Ridder. Gun to my head, I'm not taking Kevin Holland, dude. Like, the guy doesn't care if he wins or loses. He's just there for a paycheck. Is what it is. Beneil Dariush, Renato Moicano. Now, if there's a gun to your head, do you really want to take a Beneil Dariush who has showed probably one of the, I don't want to say the worst chins, but for a guy at this level, he probably has one of the worst chins just because almost every time he loses, he's getting knocked out. All right? He has been submitted before. Michael Chiesa back in the day. And what did Michael Chiesa submit him with? It was a rear naked choke. How do you get a rear naked choke? You find the back. And if Moicano is going to be looking to get this fight to the ground and takes down Beneil Dariush, Benny Dariush better not give up his back. Because even though Renato Moicano's been TKOing these guys, we can't forget the rear naked choke comes from Money Moicano. All right, Money Moicano's move is the rear naked choke. Get to the back, sink the choke in, and that's it. So I think there is a bit of an advantage there for Money Moicano. I think Money Moicano is the better grappler here. I really do. I think if he gets top control, he's better. He's one of the best. And once he gets top control, because he can flow on top, just keeping the top position. He can either flow on top if you're on your back, or if you're, I'm going to say this, if you're trying to shrimp out, I'm not a grappler, so I really apologize if these are not right. If you're trying to shrimp out, he gets to a dominant position where he's in mount, but you're like trying to turn around. He's so good at taking and keeping top position. So if he does that, I like the odds. I like the odds for Moicano. Not saying I like the betting odds, but I like his odds to win the fight. I think on the feet, obviously Moicano, not the most durable guy. He's shown his flaws there, but I think he's got a lot more momentum in this one. I think he's got probably more will to win. You know, money.
I can't afford to lose. Moicano wants money.
Wants money. Can't afford to lose, so I'm going to take Money Moicano. He's my official pick. Gun to your head, I got to take him. The money man, getting it done. Yuri Prochazka, Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill is probably one of the more hated UFC fighters right now. And that is beautiful. That's beautiful. Why? Because Yuri Prochazka is probably one of the most loved fighters in the UFC. Because he's a freaking weirdo. He says some of the dumbest stuff I've ever seen. His training tactics are so weird. It doesn't make sense. And people love it. Jamal Hill talks a bunch of nonsense. It's stupid. It is literally stupid. Like, I'm not a Jamal Hill fan. Not many people are. But Jamal Hill's winning this fight. All right? I believed he was going to knock out Yuri Prochazka 2 years ago when Jamal Hill won the belt, and this was the fight to make. Jamal Hill was going to knock out Yuri Prochazka if they fought that year. And then Jamal Hill got injured. And then Jamal Hill got knocked out by Ferreira. And then Jamal Hill got injured again. And what does the UFC fan base think of him now? They think he's a stupid, delusional piece of shit. And what do they think of Yuri? They think he's awesome. They think he's a warrior. He's going to go out there and win by any means necessary. They both got knocked out by the same guy. All right? These are Pereira's sons. But Jamal Hill has the better striking. He just does. Better striking offense. Throws more significant strikes. Better striking defense. Is Yuri going to take down Jamal Hill? I doubt it. Yuri's not that great of a wrestler, not that great of a grappler. Oh, he submitted Glover Teixeira. Who cares? Who cares? It was 30 seconds left. Glover literally tapped because he was on death's door because he was like 250 pounds. Old man, cardio, cutting down to 205. Had beat him up for the entire fight and then gave up with 30 seconds left. What did Jamal Hill do? Jamal beat the piss out of Glover Teixeira. All right? I'm not a Jamal Hill fan. Like I said, not many are. But that's why I'm taking him. Because I think people are just don't think he's good. He's good. He's a good striker, big power. And for a guy that gets hit as much as Yuri does, Jamal Hill's probably going to put the lights out or at least just piece them up. Like the way he pieced up Glover Teixeira. So give me Jamal Hill for the official pick to get this one done. Moving on. Bantamweight title fight. Merab Dvalishvili taking on Nurmagomedov. I listened to a lot of stuff from the Merab camp, and they feel really confident that they're going to go in there and show Umar, something that he's never seen. But I really struggle to think that's the case because Umar's been training with Habib and Islam since he was like 5 years old. He trains with like the best fighters of all time. So is Merab going to show him something different? Probably not. He's probably going to show him something different, at least in the approach. But is he going to go out there and like show him something that show him some adversity that he's never faced? I guess maybe in like the UFC octagon, but he's probably faced a ton of adversity in the training room. So I think Umar probably wins this one. The line is wide. Umar is going to be my official pick. I just think he's the cleaner striker. I think even if Merab starts to throw his little rabbit punches volume, that Umar is going to level change, and Merab gives up his back a ton. You watch anytime Merab gets taken down, he's looking to get away with giving up his back, and Umar's a guy that can take the back. All of his other opponents, they're not grapplers. They're not guys that are going to take the back. In the way that you could actually just beat Merab, and I said this a long time ago, I thought the only guy at 135 that could beat Merab was a guy like Aljo, a guy that could take his back and control him for extended periods of time, because Merab's just going to keep coming at you. But if you can hold him down for a little bit, if you get that body lock in, or the body triangle in, it's pretty hard to get out of. So a guy like Aljo, who is like one of the best backpacks, could hold him there for 3-4 minutes at a time. He ain't getting out. If Umar can do that, that's a great path. But I also think he could probably knock him out on the feet. I know Merab's very tough, but I think Umar's kicks are so fast. His hands are fast. He could piece him up there, probably knock him down at least in this fight. And I think he could probably submit him on the ground and probably win 3 out of the 5 rounds. So I would take Umar Nurmagomedov to win this fight. Sorry, Merab. If he does it, though, bantamweight go. If Merab beats Umar, bantamweight go. Sorry, but that's what it is. But I think Umar's winning. Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Tsarukyan. I don't agree with the odds. Islam's minus 380. I don't agree with the odds. I think Arman Tsarukyan shouldn't be plus 300 to anybody at 155 because he is that good. But way I see this fight going is going to be a very high level chess match, and I think Islam's just going to beat him slightly. I think Arman is going to have some success defending takedowns from Islam. I don't think Islam's going to have a lot of wrestling success in this fight. He might get a few takedowns, but I don't think he's going to be able to hold Arman there for extended periods of time or bully him in there by any means. On the feet, though, I think Islam will probably just be able to edge he'll be able to do slightly more than Arman. Not edge him. Be able to do slightly more than Arman. And Arman is going to have his moments, though. I really see this probably being a 48-47 type of scorecard coming down to it. And I favor Islam just a little bit. So Islam's going to be my pick. I think that body kick is going to look good for Islam. He loves that. He loves the knees in the clinch. I think those are going to be there. I think Arman's going to be able to get a few takedowns on Makhachev. But what does he do with it? Is he going to be able to land tons of ground and pound? I think at times he'll be able to land a couple, but I don't think he's going to be able to, go at it like he has been able to throughout his rise in the lightweight division. And that's really what I see, how I see it going down. I think it is a close fight, though. I don't agree with the odds at all. But if there's a gun to my head, I'm not going to take anybody over Islam at 155. If there's a gun to my head, not doing it. So Islam is the official pick. And that'll do it for the video. I appreciate you for watching. Please leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, looking to do a live show, call-in show with my boy Matty Betts. If he's not available, then I will do it myself. We'll still do the live call-in show probably on Friday. That's probably what we're aiming for. Friday night should be a great time. Best Bets video will be out soon as well. I'll probably try to get it out to you guys tomorrow on Thursday, just so it's out there. But I got to wait till most of my bets are in. Appreciate you for watching, though. Comment down below your picks. Good luck to you. Hopefully you survive the cartel this week. Till next time, hey, Job Picks.